feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a gain. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. Guys, I'm happy, but I'm also disappointed. FSU got their win against their rival, but the Saints went down in flames. We'll talk about all that. But first, let me bring on somebody who's trying to pull off a Scarlett Johansson impersonation. Let me bring in Josie. Come on now.
Hey, fuck you. My hair is awesome.
What's up, Josie? What's going on?
Not much, bud. How's life? How was your Thanksgiving?
All right, man. Pretty good. I can't complain. All right. He's a little under the weather. We're gonna take it easy on him tonight. Let's bring in my man Seven. What's up?
Man, I am so damn angry right now. Was scrolling through Facebook today, came across, and it was an ad for a Magic Wand vibrator under Walmart section. It's the last damn time I let Dan the Dick Werner use my phone.
And, when the hell did we transfer to After Dark? What's with the sunglasses? Goddamn it.
Dude, I feel like shit, and this light is bothering me, but it needs to be lit. So this is what y'all get. Or you're gonna get me looking like I'm super, super baked when I am definitely not. Let me sit there squint like this.
Pulling off his Gene Hale impersonation. I'm sorry, man. She's a pretty girl, but she need to open her eyes. Next up, I'm bringing my man who still says Mike Tomlin's coming to Nebraska. You delusional person, you. Let's bring in Dan the Dick. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? He's obviously coming in at D coordinator. You know, we're gonna have him Him and Rule are gonna double team the old Nebraska job. They're gonna cornhusk it. By the way, Seven, the only dildo that I own is one of those ones that you model it. You have to put the mold in. It's a LeBron James one. It's just like,
and the streak continues.
they had to make a They had to make a new mold.
Will didn't even set that one up for him. He just threw it out there, just like taking the dick out of his mouth. Except this time it was LeBron's.
Yep. And I mean, Will and I run Walmart and trailer parks, so we can just put whatever we want on there. Really,
That's right. We can we run. We run.
They let us have our own line.
Yes. Heck yeah, we charge prices. We set the prices too, boys. We set the prices
dildos happen
too.
to sell.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like dildos.
Like dildos.
Fake penises are the thing. They're in.
Oh man. All right, let's go
I don't
ahead and
know.
get
It's not me buying it. Go ahead.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Sevy, I believe you had some baseball news you wanted to go over tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. We go ahead and get into some wrestling action. I got some stuff I need to get off my chest with that.
I like your
Yeah.
hair, by the way, Josie. Looks good.
I
It's
think
got good. It's got good pop. It's got good pop.
Trying to like Gen 1 Black Widow over there. That was she trying to look right. Gen 1 Black Widow.
I do it better.
Scarlett Johansson reference? I didn't get it.
Josie
I
just
got it
wants
now.
to be a Weasley. That's all it is.
I'd rather be a Weasley than a Scarlett Johansson impersonator.
listen,
Fair.
listen. We are not going to put my woman down. We are not going to do that here on the Sports Report. Not tonight, anyway. Not tonight.
She's a quitter.
No, she's not. No.
You know?
Let's go ahead and get into the
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money.
Okay.
So we did see the Astros make a move today in signing a 3-year deal with Jose Abreu. I have not seen any financials on it. I would expect it's like, based on his talent level, it's probably like 3 years, 1.25 million.
What
That's
I had
still ain't bad.
heard is what he was wanting was something like 75 for 3 years originally.
That's
How do you?
What
How
he
did he?
he probably got close to it, dude.
How does he
I mean,
I
command
think he got
that low?
65.
Okay, so this is my thing, and honestly, as the fan sitting here of the Astros, I probably have a different view of most. Yuli did not have a great regular season. He had an amazing postseason, but he had a pretty crummy regular season. He's 38 years old. He also took a very nasty hit in the end of the playoffs or into the World Series this year. I am perfectly okay. And now, yes, are the Astros rolling some dice and hoping that what happens with a lot of players when they come to Houston happens and they just have this resurgence and they get the Abreu from 2-3 years ago? Yeah, they are. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. But even if not, he's a strong first baseman and a strong bat to come in and be number one with Yuli backing him up. And I'm okay with that.
I'm still trying to figure out how he was trying to command 75 million off what, 3 years?
That's
Yeah.
pretty market, Will.
That's-
I give him
Yeah,
75
that's
million over 10 years.
I feel like 75
I mean,
million
minimum.
3 years
I'm-
because even though he's not playing up to that level, he still has all of those accolades that go on. So for what he was and what he has done, 75 million to 3 years sounds pretty fair.
I'll give it to 7 though, because if you finish your career basically with the Stros. 10 years, 75 million, 7.5 million a year. You can sign up. You can sign on the superstars.
Yeah, I mean that's
Oh.
that's a little steep for him, but
God.
also Joe, you made a good point actually. Like Yuli is 38. I forgot about that. Like
Yeah,
he's an older guy. He doesn't look that old really, but like he might start playing that old. So like I didn't get the move at first. I was like, they have Yuli. Like, why would they? Is he a free agent or am I?
No,
mistaken.
No.
he
He's
has
still-
a year
yeah.
left on contract.
Okay, so that's okay. That makes sense.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if they can get anything for him in the market. But I would expect Yuli to spend this next season giving Jose Abreu days off. Maybe some pinch hitting.
And honestly,
late games.
I'm pretty sure after this, Yuli's got 2 rings.
Yes.
And if he plays one more year, the odds are that the Astros at least get back to the ALCS again, if not the series again. He's got a chance at maybe one more ring, and then he retires after his contract's up. Take this year, train his replacement to train their replacement. Because obviously, Abreu is not going to be the guy to be the Astros first baseman, like Altuve has been for second base and will be for them for a while. But he'll be the guy to take the spot for the next 2 years.
Bet you.
And he's got a job waiting for him too, as a hitting coach.
Oh, you?
Sure.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
I would
Hell
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Houston, I think, is about to get into the market of bringing old players in to be coaches. Like they've done it with Bagwell, they've done it with Biggio before. They're both advisors to the team.
They should, and Yuli's going to be a great. I mean, with Yuli Gurriel, we're talking about a guy that has a career batting average of 284. Last year was a bit of a down season. He hit 242 with 8 home runs. Most strikeouts in the season of his career at 73. But Yuli is still going to be value in certain situations. Like I said, he will come off of the bench as, giving Abreu a day off here and there. He'll be a pinch hitter. They might try to see if he has any talent at utility, just see if they can use him in any other spots so that he can get a little bit more playing time in, because he is a career 284 hitter. And if you can get him into a good groove, you're more beneficial having him in the lineup than sitting on the bench getting cold.
True.
But I understand why Houston made the move. I don't fault them for making the move, but I think it's also important to remember that there are a lot of people in the White Sox organization, while they're a little disappointed to see him go, they're not completely sad. And I think that says something and puts a question mark there about what are we going to see next year. I hope he's great. I think he has a ton of potential, but after his MVP season in 2020, we haven't seen the production out of him that year. And it was a COVID year, so there are a lot of people that will throw an asterisk on that anyway. I'm not one of them. The season, if you play the season you're given, you get the award, you deserve the award. But the argument's there for those that want to entertain it.
Tone, the White Sox not wanting him to go throws question marks in 2 places for me, on Jose Abreu and on White Sox management / front office. Like how they haven't been famously well, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously your favorite manager ever.
The Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
Hired an 80-year-old man as their manager a decade after he retired, and then proceeded to fuck up a gimme of a division 2 straight years in a row.
How you mess up? Somebody explain that to me. How you mess up everything? Not
we
just
elected
everything.
an 80-year-old.
I'm
not just everything. Everything.
Here's the thing. I'm writing a memoir about my experience doing just that, but I'm only 35. La Russa does have experience there, but he did manage to get a few World Series along the way, so he still got me in the end. The other thing, the other thing that big news today, Justin.
I was just talking with the White Sox, not overall.
Yeah. Justin Verlander was supposed to have met with the Dodgers today. My theory is that the Dodgers are telling him not to sign with them because if they get him, they could actually be a World Series team. And they don't like playing too much in the postseason. The Dodgers are one of those where they like to get 100 to 110 wins in the regular season and then be done after the first round.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens. The Dodgers are trying to be aggressive in a lot of different ways. And Dodgers fans, I know you appreciate that. But the thing to remember is that you can only write so many checks.
Facts.
And there is a spot where the money runs out. Boston, one of the reasons that Boston has been up and down and spending money is they're trying to get rid of some of the extra stuff that's been on their payroll from spending wildly. And that's you don't want your organization doing that. There's a lot of money there, but there is still a cap on where that goes. So I hope for the Dodgers' sake, they're not being too aggressive with how much money they're offering players. They're being realistic for what they're able to do. Because if you want to win a World Series and stay in contention seasons after, you can't overpay everybody just to get one ring. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and obviously you just can't buy rings at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they've been trying to do
doesn't
that
work.
Yeah. So like, why are you? I mean, where would you even be trying to buy rings? Like that's a recipe that hasn't worked for them, and it repeats for anybody. Like it has obviously, but
it hasn't worked since. Here's the thing: it hasn't truly worked with any kind of long-term success since the '90s. The Yankees were the team to be able to pull it off success, and that kills me to say as a Red Sox fan because. Let's be honest, the Yankees can go fuck themselves.
Well, you also get to kind of bag on them in the same sentence. So that's
exactly. Because you're spending all this money and you get one ring and you don't get anything else and you're just hemorrhaging money out of your payroll. So you can't build a decent stadium to replace the iconic one you have. You have to build the dumpster fire that currently sits that the Yankees play in. There is.
Do you not like Yankee Stadium because of the dimensions? You're like an old head with that, aren't you? You don't like the dimensions.
The new Yankee Stadium, and now, of course, my opinion from this comes from people that have actually been there and have been in the old Yankee Stadium, and so my unfortunately, until everybody starts liking and sharing this, and I can make this podcast my full-time job and write off a trip to Yankee Stadium. Hint, share our shit, please. We appreciate you. Everything that I've seen is that
write it off.
The Yankee Stadium used to have a lot more space and a lot better views of what was going on in the field of play. The Yankee Stadium now is more about getting the most seats for the least amount of money possible spent building the stadium. Fuck the point of view. Fuck the experience. It's you're not getting what you would be paying for in other ballparks. Comiskey Park, Red Sox Stadium, Fenway. Sorry, I'm not feeling
the
good.
Cathedral of Boston.
Hey, Josie, you know who reminds me of? Who Seven's talking like? A fan of the 6-sided ring in TNA. That's exactly who he reminds me of right now.
Wait, a 6-sided ring?
Stuff. Some people miss that 6-sided
what?
ring.
Impact used to have a 6-sided
ring.
It was a hexagon.
Some people actually like that thing.
And wrestlers hated it because it makes the points short, so it makes the ropes even tighter than they already are, and smacks a lot harder. But yeah,
I think we should just put UFC players in a regular square ring. That's fucking weird. Just put all of them in the square ring. Wrestlers, boxers, UFC. Come on, don't tell me you wouldn't love to see somebody get into the ring in a UFC match with Conor McGregor and throw his ass off of those ropes and just clothesline him. Don't tell me that wouldn't make you joyful to see that man who does make amazing Irish whiskey. Proper 12 is legit. But Conor McGregor can kind of go fuck himself.
Yeah. Do you think they don't do that with the ropes though? Because they probably don't do that with the ropes though, because you could actually throw like pretty dangerous strikes with using tension off the ropes.
In reality, it's too dangerous to have that in UFC. People would get killed.
Either throwing them off of it or you throwing yourself off of it.
Yeah. Because what wrestlers in AEW and WWE and all of these other organizations do, they learn how to go through that. They learn how to fall. They learn how to roll. You completely change what a UFC fighter's doing if they have to be prepared for that as well. So I definitely think that's a safety issue, and I get that completely. I'm just joking. No,
I'm not. I think they should do it. The octagon ropes.
Octagon ropes.
Dang, man.
They're just even tighter.
Yeah.
They're just long. They're like 3 feet long.
Shohei Ohtani was voted the major's top DH again. He won the Edgar Martinez Outstanding Designated Hitter Award on Monday, beating out Houston's Yordan Alvarez as the top player in the position for the 2022 season.
Congrats to him.
The Angels actually beat the Astros at something. Congratulations.
I don't know if I agree with that though. If we're going just DH, Jordan had a better year at the plate.
Hold on. Let's see the stats because
I'm looking at him right now. Shohei hit 273 with 34 homers and 95 RBIs, and I know off the top of my head that Jordan had a better year than that. Jordan hit over 300, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. It was like 325, something like that.
It wasn't 325 because 317 I think was the top.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It was like
it was over 300 though.
He hit 306. 36. So Jordan Alvarez last year for 2022, 306, 37 home runs, 106 strikeouts. Somebody check on Pete Rose. 78 walks, whereas Shohei had a batting average of 273, 34 home runs, 161 strikeouts.
Dude, Jordan had a better year.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. Jordan had a better year.
So now we're factoring. Clearly, that's factoring that Shohei pitches as well. That's what's happening now. So now they're just factoring in
because he didn't get the MVP. They're going to just give him that, and that's dumb. That's dumb.
It is.
I don't like that because you're right. Jordan Alvarez statistically was the best DH in baseball this year.
On that same note, though, if we're just going to go straight down the line with the awards, then Shohei Ohtani probably should have won the AL MVP, and that's from a Yankees fan, right?
No, we talked about this
because there's a Cy Young. Because there's Cy Young.
It's not just because there's a Cy Young. No, it's when you look at the impact of the player. Shohei's impact on the Angels did not make them a playoff contender. Without Aaron Judge, the Yankees don't make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, as much as it pains me, I agree with Seven on that.
I say this as a Red Sox fan. I will give this. I will give Aaron Judge his MVP.
Yes.
He was a clear winner this season.
Yes.
But you should not be giving Shohei the Edgar Martinez Award when Jordan was a clear favorite. Like, are you just giving it to Shohei because Jordan got his ring? Is that what this is about? I mean, I can appreciate that to an extent, but that doesn't make any sense because it's not the Edgar Martinez Award for the best DH that didn't win a World Series.
But how many times have we seen this happen in sports, though? I mean,
No, you're right.
As much as I love Jokic, there ain't no way in the world he should win that MVP a second time.
Agreed. I'll give you that.
Devin
Booker should be getting more attention for MVP.
I love the man to death. There ain't no one in the world who deserved this second time.
Right. And that's like because of the regular season thing too. Like they won so many games, like they were the 2 seed or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like it becomes like I seriously talk about LeBron with it, and it was the same thing with Jordan. Like I think they didn't win MVP awards because they were literally like, oh well, we can't just keep giving it to them. Like, yes, you can. Yes, you fucking can. If they're the best player in the league, give them the fucking MVP. Like stop putting politics into it. Like it really
absolutely
makes me mad. Like
no, because here's the thing, it diminishes because we look at these awards like MVP and Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, Cy Young. These are accolades for your Hall of Fame resume.
Yes.
And if we're gonna not give the right player the right accolades,
Agreed.
then that can potentially impact
somebody
if and when they get into the Hall of Fame. And that I don't think that's right. Because there are some players that shouldn't be robbed of their award. Because like look at in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is far and away the best quarterback in the NFL. There is no disputing it. When it comes to what he's doing as we speak. And so if let's say over the next 5 years, Patrick Mahomes should be, and this is just as an example, so humor me for a second. Let's say over the next 5 years, Patrick Mahomes is the clear favorite for MVP, but he doesn't get it every year because, we can't just give it to Patrick every year. He has a career-ending injury. So because of time, it's technically harder to get him into the Hall of Fame based on how the Hall of Fame voters traditionally vote. And this this bleeds over into the voting for the MLB Hall of Fame and the NBA Hall of Fame. So that's why I'm using this as an example.
Right.
So are we going to seriously, like Patrick Mahomes is already a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. Especially with the trajectory that he's on. He's already thrown more touchdown passes in his 4 games than Troy Aikman, who is a Hall of Fame quarterback, threw in his entire fucking career. But
I want to say he has more than Elway too. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say it's up there above Elway at this point too.
But that's the thing is we can't, because especially in a physical sport like football, we are doing these guys a disservice. But in baseball as well, because you can blow your arm out of your knee out at any point in baseball and be done, because your joints take the most stress in Major League Baseball, just like they do in the NFL and the NBA. That your joint stress and connective tissue damage is your biggest problem for your major players. So why are we not going to give these guys the ability to stack that resume? Because they deserve it.
Fact check, I was way wrong on the Elway. I was way wrong on the Elway thing. Elway has 334 career. Patrick has 180. Right. But Elway was like known as the stats guy though, dude, too. Like he was like, when he was younger in his career, like he was like the dude who was putting up the crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like he was on that really good Broncos offense. And, he was putting up all these crazy numbers. So like he was kind of like the early version, statistically of Mahomes. But and Mahomes will pass him, obviously. It's hoping, but like
realistically, and it's why that's why Mahomes got the comps to Brett Favre early in his career, because that's exactly Brett Favre did the same thing.
Do you think it's trajectory though? Like why the MVP thing happens? Because like they're literally just looking at it, like say in what you're talking about with Mahomes, like they're just going, oh, well, Mahomes is going to be here. Mahomes is going to be the best for a while. So like we can give it to him down the road. We don't have to give it to him right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we can give it to a guy that's going to be better for a shorter amount of time. And that's not right. It's not right.
It's not, because and that's the thing is right now, if you look at Jalen Hurts, yes, has gotten his team to 9-1, Skip Bayless. However, Jalen Hurts statistically is not good enough to lick Patrick Mahomes' cleats.
Or just actually like as a quarterback. Like obviously he's having a great year and there's a great team and that's a great system underneath him.
I get that you're gonna try and claim him, Skip Bayless, as an Oklahoma quarterback. He's as good as he is because of the 3 years he spent in Alabama. Come on now. He went to Oklahoma to actually get play time because there was 4 other 5-star quarterbacks sitting on the goddamn bench.
How Stephen A said, Alabama.
Yeah, well, they had that one kid too, Tua, who kind of just took over his spot.
Exactly. I don't blame him for leaving Alabama, but you can't tell me that his time in Alabama did not prepare him for the NFL, because Nick Saban can actually do okay with quarterbacks as long as they don't win the Heisman.
Claiming Oklahoma for Jalen Hurts is like claiming Texas for Kevin Durant. The one and done. It's like, seriously, it's like the one and done thing.
Oh man!
You just, anyway,
who cares?
No, you're right. I agree with you on that. The actual.
That's a good point.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say that was a good point. That was a good point about Nick Saban, Heisman quarterbacks. That's a good point.
Last thing, the actual winter meetings will be taking place between December 3rd and December 8th. We will have a full recap here on the Sports Report once they have completed. But the Sunday following that, so that would be the 12th of December, we will have a full winter meetings episode with Stefan and Craig breaking down everything. We're expecting to see some rule changes. Probably going to see a couple of blockbuster trades made, maybe even a signing or two, because a lot of players will go down for the winter meetings as well, because it's a great chance to just meet multiple organizations at once and get things done. So we'll see that starts Saturday.
You said December 12th?
No, December 3rd through the 8th is the winter meetings.
Okay.
And then the episode.
The actual winter meetings.
Yeah, the actual winter meetings. And then the episode of my baseball podcast and winter meetings.
Yep.
Recapping everything we'll do one episode on the 12th, and then we'll be back in February in spring training.
You heard that correctly, ladies. December 12th, 1976, San Francisco Chronicles sexiest man, Craig T. Alan Newton is going to be on the Sports Report.
He's a sports
on the winter
sexiest
meetings.
Man. He really is.
He brings in all of the female demographic.
Yes,
we're just
absolutely.
rolling up just Craig.
And then also there is a lot of rumors going around. We did see Miggy Cabrera announce. Miggy Cabrera of the Detroit Tigers announces today that it looks like 2023 will be his last season. He does plan to stay with the organization after he retires, helping young guys. So I would assume he'll be an advisor, hitting coach, assistant hitting coach type scenario. And he'll be a good guy to keep around the guys because there's so many guys that are going to look up to him. So I think that's a good choice for them. Congratulations to Miggy. He was a very talented player when Detroit actually put the right support around him so that he could be, and he will be in the Hall of Fame. Finally, Trey Turner is close to signing with the Phillies. For rumors, nothing has been confirmed from either side yet. This one is definitely a rumor at this point, but that could definitely be a way that the Phillies transition into possibly making it back to the World Series next year, and an even closer comparison to the 2014 and 2015 Royals that I threw out most of the second half of last season.
Quickly, Seven, what does that do? What does that do for the Aaron Judge watch if Trey Turner's off the market?
Aaron Judge is going to San Francisco. Period. In those stories.
There are a lot of reports saying that Aaron Judge spent more time with San Francisco than expected. And if that's true, I think that bodes well. The Giants are definitely going to back up the money truck, and I just hope that they don't overdo it. I don't blame them for wanting to sign Judge. But are you going to throw him a $450 to $500 million deal and screw yourself when there's other talent that you need? You went from one season winning the most games of the year, winning 107 games, to the Giants not even being a playoff team in September last year.
One player is not going to fix that, regardless of how good he is.
They have multiple upgrades that they need. They need to re-sign Rodon if they can, which I'm hoping he lands in Boston. I think there's some reports saying that he likes the thought of going to Boston, so I would love to be able to see that because we could definitely use him in the starting rotation. But that's probably Rodon is one I doubt we see fall before the first of the year.
July 17th through the 19th, the Tigers in Kansas City, by the way. Gonna go ahead and grab some tickets for those.
Might as well.
Mickey's going away tour is going to be fucking amazing, dude. They're going to give him so much.
I am going to be starting a GoFundMe. The Red Sox are going to be playing the Diamondbacks in Chase Field. Tickets are only $350 a person for being able to sit in the lower bowl.
He's talking about them good seats, though, Will.
No, I'm talking
the premium seats. Oh, okay.
No.
We ain't talking about nosebleed. Foul line. That lower bowl, but down towards the foul pole. Okay.
Those seats are $350. We're catching a foul ball is about a 75% chance. That's where 7 wants to be.
Okay.
No, because where the netting is in that section, unless it goes all the way up, slim chance. Because I've sat in that section
regular
before.
Stadium.
In a regular stadium, yes, but of course, Ken Kendricks and the Diamondbacks organization are just a dumpster fire.
The only reason I ever go to Boston, I want to sit on the big green, like that
on the big green monster.
Yeah.
Dude, those you think $350 a ticket is expensive? You'd better be willing to shit out a couple grand a seat.
Do you know what you can do with
Crawford boxes in Houston?
Yep.
Do you know what you can do with $350?
Like the Crawford boxes, those seats go.
Finally get that Loch Ness
in the
monster
regular season. In the regular season, Crawford box seats go $300, $400, $500.
I mean, man, that's
I've never been able to justify spending $350 a seat to see the D-backs.
It's a good dildo at Walmart. Will. It's a good sized Walmart dildo.
$350 a game to see the Red Sox play. I'll let people contribute to a GoFundMe for that. But no, baseball news. I will be keeping the Sports Report Facebook page updated as things develop. I doubt we're going to see a lot of big news this week because the winter meetings are coming up. Teams are getting ready for that. So front offices aren't having as many conversations. It was probably the biggest day we'll see until after the meetings or until during the meeting. Sorry. But we'll see if anything major gets posted. I will keep the Sports Report Facebook page updated. And then, of course, you can catch Dan and I Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Sports Report After Dark. Mental health. Skip Bayless is an alien.
Lots of weird stuff.
I think you're going to hear something on Judge sooner than later. I read a report that he's wanting to get this done.
He does, because here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize this, but Aaron Judge does not like this much media attention.
No, he doesn't like the spotlight. That's exactly why. That's why I put it out to people that is he the guy, the World Series guy, because he doesn't seem to like that spotlight.
I mean, get him onto that stage and we'll see. And I think that's going to be the key thing. I think his issue with the spotlight is not during the game. It's outside of the game. It's because during the game, how many clutch hits, like I said earlier, Aaron Judge is the reason the Yankees were a playoff team. How many clutch hits, game-winning shots did Aaron Judge hit in the 2022 season?
He had four regular season walk-offs.
Did anybody in Major League Baseball have more?
No, he had like 11 go-ahead hits and then 8th or later or something like that. Like he was clearly the most clutch regular season player, but I mean, in the playoffs, he's a career 219 hitter. So it's to be told. And does he need bigger lights than ALCS? I mean, but that's also against that Houston pitching though too. So we got to put an asterisk on that too. Like that Houston pitching was just dirty. They're filthy. They're gonna put anybody hitting 190.
Exactly. I mean, Houston was in the best form. I saw them all year in that series. Because they actually weren't even – they were better against the Yankees than they were against the Phillies.
I mean, also, too, as long as you perform. I mean, if you go back and look at Giannis, when he won a title that year, he wasn't making all that hoopla, but he performed. And he made sure Milwaukee got that championship.
He wants – and that's the thing. I think Aaron Judge wants to get rid of the media attention and just let I think he'll be like Giannis.
I think he'll be like Giannis. He'll still perform.
I agree.
He'll perform, but he'll also discipline himself outside or off the field.
And that's the thing is, like I said, I don't think he likes the outside media attention on stuff that's not him playing baseball and what he's doing on the field. This business stuff behind him, I don't think he likes it.
I don't think he's doing anything off the field to be worried about anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's a pretty like straight cut guy. Solid. Like he's just, you know,
I don't think he does anything.
Probably goes to Chick-fil-A every once a week, you know. That's all there is to it.
No, and
I think
you're right, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Seven. We appreciate you. I want to go ahead and move on over into the association. It's your time, Dan. It's up to you, brother. It's time for the hardwood.
Woo! Play the graphic, Will. Woohoo! The hardwood.
The thing that first off, he took himself off. First off, Dan, I want to ask you, and this is the thing that's really been making me upset throughout this young season. A lot of bad teams don't know they bad yet, and we got all this. We got all this load management going down. I mean, you look at the Clippers, we got load management all over the place with Kawhi, Paul George, even LeBron is just getting back. It's killing me, man. It's killing me.
So
can we see the end of this?
I would say that at this point, this is a clear sign that the NBA season needs to be shortened. Okay. They play 82 games. Like people talk about the Major League Baseball being too much. Major League Baseball is not near as physically taxing per game as the NBA. And obviously they play half the games, but half is way too many. Like 82 is way too many. They need to cut this thing down to about 50, 55, maybe 60 maximum, That's clearly what's happening right now, because what you're seeing is these vets who know the season is too long, and they're just gonna kind of chill back for a second until they get at about 30, 40 games, until there's about 50 games left. They're just gonna kind of chill back, and they're not gonna go hard because they have to last that long. They know how long the season is. You got the young guys who have no idea what they're doing. So they're just going as hard as they can. And that's the young teams who we didn't think were going to be very good are playing 100% and the whole time. And the older teams are, like you said, load management. They're not playing as hard defensively or anything because they know how long the season is, and they'll kick it in after the All-Star break. Then it'll get serious. Then everybody will be playing most of the time. And besides the Clippers, because none of those guys ever play. Seriously, none of those guys ever play. Like Kawhi, like is Kawhi still in the league? Like is Kawhi Leonard still? Okay, I thought, but yeah, like is he going to play anytime soon, or like they going to do anything as far But like regardless, like they'll kick it in. The season's too long, and the young teams are just playing 100% and thinking that this is like full strength. They're like, oh, this is kind of easy, and like no, they're just
like for example. Look at the Sacramento Kings. They're killing it right now.
The Utah Jazz.
The Jazz
we thought they were going to
kill it.
Yeah. We thought they were going to tank. And their front offices are going, God damn it, guys, stop winning fucking games. Like, God damn it, we want Wembanyama. We want Wembanyama. Stop winning games. We want lottery picks, not you guys to finish 9th, okay? We don't want you guys to finish 9th in the West. This isn't and get swept in the first round. Like, we want you guys to tank it so we can get Victor Wembanyama. But
exactly.
But like they're just going hard, and like that's why the young teams are, and it'll all even out. It's going to happen. But this season is clearly too long to answer your question. Like they need to shorten it down. I mean, other than that, though, go ahead.
I mean, we also got some other news going down. Kemba Walker signs with the Dallas Mavericks. I don't get that move at all.
It was a 3-team trade.
I'll give Kemba 2 months with the Mavericks. You know why? Because at some point, Kemba's gonna want the ball, and he's not gonna get the ball with Luka there. I'll give him 2 months.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be that Jalen Brunson type guy for them. And Jalen Brunson has a lot of uses percentage. I mean, Jalen Brunson has the ball in his hands a lot. Like if you've seen him play with New York yet, like I watched him last night play with New York, and he's got the ball in his hands a lot. He's got one of the highest uses percentages in the NBA. So he uses it a lot too. And luckily Luka is ball dominant, but Luka also facilitates. Like Luka's the quintessential point forward. Like he spreads the ball out. Like he can have other guys that want the ball all the time. Like I don't think that's a problem.
So you think Kemba might have some actual use with Dallas?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, he's a shooter. Like if he can get his 3-point stroke down, which has been so inconsistent for him in his career.
Yes,
because you know what it is? It's because he's a shorter guy. He has to jump. Every time he shoots a 3, dude, he has to jump. Like he shoots a jump shot 3-pointer, which there's more moving parts in a jump shot 3-pointer. There's more moving parts that are easier to if they're tweaked good, it's great because it's basically unblockable because the guys can't get up with you, and you're actually shooting your full jump shot, and you can do that same stroke every time. But that also works the opposite way. And if something gets tweaked in a wrong way, then you start, pulling it left, and you're doing that every time. So many moving parts where the guys like Dirk, dude, like Dirk was just standing on the ground, basically. He was just standing there, just tiptoes, a little bit off the ground, but it's just very simple. There's not a whole lot of moving parts to it. So like if Kemba can get his 3-point, yeah, he'll be fine. I mean, it's Kemba's personality, I think, that is the question mark. Like where's the issue with, because he's had issues with multiple teams. Yeah, like
I just ain't never been a fan of Kemba. Even when he was at Boston, I was never a fan of Kemba.
I mean, in his prime, like I remember watching him, like he was a legitimate 25 a game scorer in the NBA. Okay, but like that doesn't make you a great player in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make it makes you a good scorer. Does it make you a good team player? Does it make you? He's not a good defender naturally.
Nope.
He's 6 foot tall. He's not going to be a good defender unless he works so hard on the defensive end all the time that he can't play offense. Basically, like that's how hard he would have to work to be an average defender. So he's gonna get beat. They're gonna fucking bully him around. They're gonna play what's Shaq call it, barbecue chicken. Yep. They're gonna play barbecue chicken with Kemba Walker all day long.
That bullet ball or screen and roll off of him. That's what
switch
they're gonna
him.
do.
Yep, switch, and whoever gets Kemba on the switch, throw it to him in the post and let him work. Because he's not gonna foul out of games, and he's not gonna work that hard on the defensive end. And I mean that's what Trae Young gets. Trae Young gets bagged a lot because Trae Young is a great scorer, is a top of the line scorer. He gets abused on defense. Like he
Sure
gets
does.
abused because he doesn't work very hard for one, and because he's obviously just thinking about playing offense the whole time.
Whole game.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. And he's not very strong for how, he's 6'1" or so. He's not very strong. So he just gets bullied around. And
You
that's
give
what
him
happens to
6'1"?
Kimba.
You give him
Trey?
6'1"?
Yeah, I think Trey's a legitimate 6'1", probably 6'2". Like
Yeah.
he's a lanky, but if we saw him in real life, well, we'd be like, I mean, you're taller than he is for sure. I bet.
Mhm.
Like, if we saw him in real life, we'd be like, you look like a normal dude, like,
Right.
yeah, just a guy that I work with or something, like,
Yeah.
but like obvious, clearly he's not, the skill set's there, but like, but yeah, he's just gonna get bullied. And weird, he's on my screen right now. Trey just showed that.
Nice Trey.
Just he's staring at me because I said that about him. But yeah, I mean, Kimba in Dallas. Like, I think it adds, if it's good for them, it just adds a 3-point shooter who can kind of take the load off of Luka, because it feels like Luka just does so much. They have the slowest pace rating in the NBA too.
Heck yeah.
So they play it very slowly and they bring it down. Luka's very methodical. Obviously, that's what his game is. He just never seems like he's in a hurry. And that's the personality of their offense, basically, of their entire team. So will it be it's a question mark. It's just a huge question mark.
Well, hopefully Kimba can stay healthy so we can see anything from him. And
hopefully he doesn't piss a bunch of people off, because that's apparently what Kimba does. Like, he just kind of rubs people the wrong way, and he's not good for camaraderie in the locker rooms. I mean, that's basically what the theme has been with him. So
yeah, like I said, hopefully he can stay healthy too, because when he was with Charlotte,
dog. I mean, yeah, for
he was hurt.
Dog.
Yeah.
Dog. And well, I'm saying, like, in Boston, he was a dog. Actually, he was like
in Boston. He was
So,
legit. Yeah, for like what, a year and a half.
There was something I wanted to bring up. Did y'all look at the TikTok I put in our chat today about Kyrie? Shannon's rant on Kyrie.
I didn't watch the rant. I saw it, but I didn't
actually see if I can download it off of our chat real quick and play it on here.
I'm glad you went to Brooklyn though, because that was my next.
The thing that gets me though, all these delusional Brooklyn Nets fans, you guys are delusional. How the heck you gonna win a championship giving up 153 points? How?
I just watched the end of their game with Orlando right before we came on, and by the way, KD had 47. Okay, he shot like 80% from the floor, but the guy interviewed him after the game said, "Hey, how do you know that when you're about to go?" Because he had 19 in the third quarter. He was like, "How do you know when you're about to go on a run like that? Like when you're hot and you can start scoring like that?" And he goes, "When I wake up in the morning." I was like, "Bam!" Quote of the day, Kevin Durant. He said, "When I wake up." So that's fucking awesome. But yeah, they defensively, I mean, they got fucking Franz Wagner out there, just abusing them. Franz Wagner had like 23, getting to the rim whenever he wants. Guys like Franz Wagner, Bull, bro, was just dominating. By the way, that guy's kind of a freak, dude.
Yeah.
His name is ridiculous, but like, obviously Manute Bol's son. He looks exactly like him. He's got a really good skill set, dude. The guy handles the ball. He's 7'1".
Yep.
They call him the praying mantis, which is fantastic because he shoots from range. He brings the ball up the floor. Like, so is Franz Wagner. Orlando is actually a really good young team. If you watch them play, they're actually very exciting. They play shitty defense because all of the young teams do. They don't really know what they're doing. Yeah, let's watch this.
All right. So this is Nick Wright on the last, basically half a decade we have on Kyrie Irving. This was a really interesting watch.
Decade of evidence
Is
that Kyrie Irving either is in or goes to great basketball situations and lights them ablaze. We can go year by year by year from the moment he walked off the court in the 2017 NBA Finals after they lost to the Golden State Warriors with Durant. Here's what Kyrie has gone into the season with. Here's how it's ended. 2018, the Cavs are the preseason favorites to win the East. Second best title odds overall. Kyrie then demands a trade. He then misses the postseason with an injury, and his team, the Celtics, reached the conference finals without him. The very next season, he is with Boston, and what happens? The very next season, the Celtics are the favorites to win the East. They have the second best title odds. Kyrie Irving makes odd comments about the young guys throughout the year after saying he wants to be there forever. And then as they lose 4 straight games, he melts down. He has 19 points per game while demanding to guard Giannis, shooting 30% from the field. The very next year, he goes to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, they were projected to be a top 4 seed, not champion because KD was out. Their record.
We're watching a video about the plague that is Kyrie.
I've been listening. You're good.
Entirely. The very next year, now KD is back, and the Nets are co-favorites to win the East, the second best title odds overall. Kyrie takes multiple leaves of absences, which in some people's mind is one of the reasons the Nets mortgage their whole future for James Harden, is they can't rely on Kyrie Irving to be there. And then in the second round of the playoffs, his body breaks down, he turns his ankle, he's not there. The very next season, the Nets are the overwhelming favorites to win the title. And Kyrie Irving submarines the entire thing by refusing to get vaccinated, being a part-time player, and then plays poorly in round 1, and they're swept. This year, the Brooklyn Nets have top 4 title odds. And 2 weeks into the season, he has created a firestorm via social media usage and the embarrassing press conference. His head coach is fired. The Nets are 2-6. And he's coming off a 4-point game. That is 6 years in a row of Kyrie Irving being in one of the best basketball situations imaginable. 5 of the last 6. Take out the Durant injury year, but he could have just stayed in Boston nearly every single one of those years. It all goes terribly, and he is patient zero. Like, you are a smart guy. You also have a very empathetic heart, so I understand why you are hoping for the best outcome. But from a logical perspective, why on earth would you expect Kyrie Irving to act any differently than he has acted over the entirety of his NBA adult life?
And see, here's the thing that gets me, and I said this on Brian Snow's show tonight. A lot of people call T.O. Team Obliterator. He ain't got nothing on this dude.
Oh no, Kyrie is the IUD that teams don't see. And the thing is about it is he's not just the IUD, he's the reused IUD. He's literally the same cell phone strapped to a team every year, just waiting to explode.
I just want to say real quick, we're talking about the NBA. Shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They still doing their thing.
Shout out to
doing their
Daddy
thing, man.
Daddy Braun taking care of Westbrook with that big ass gash on his head last night.
Right.
Jesus.
Right. That was so weird. Like the actual training staff was just like standing right there, and Braun was like, "No, let me get it because I'm absolutely medically qualified to do this." He was like, "There's blood everywhere."
Kind of remind me of that scene on Starship Troopers when my boy got shot in the head because he took off the tactical helmet. I wanted to just say, are you qualified to handle this, LeBron? Are you qualified to handle this, LeBron? Come on, man.
It also really shows you like how much blood is flowing to Russell Westbrook's head, because did you actually see the wound? That like, dude, he is like Westbrook is so angry all the time that it just clipped that vein that sticks out in his forehead, and it just like it looked like the elevator in The Shining for a second. Like it was just fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Like about Kyrie though, real quick, dude. Kyrie Irving is like, we've talked about this extensively on After Dark and everything. Like Kyrie Irving is the perfect example of somebody who has an egocentric personality, and his egocentrism has been created by something that he happens to be very good at, but doesn't really care that much about. And it's the worst scenario for any team that he could ever be on. That is what it is. Like he just something that created the monster he doesn't actually care about, so he can shit all over it and create more of the monster. Like the monster can get bigger feeding off of the thing that he's supposed to be caring about that he's doing, but he doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about basketball, dude. He doesn't care. It's a money-making, fame-making, egocentric life force for him. He is that's what it is. And it's the worst scenario you can have for a professional athlete. Like that is the worst. I think it was a little bit in T.O., but I think T.O. liked to play football. Like I think T.O. legitimately liked football. Like, he loved football.
Same with Ocho Cinco.
And really there hasn't been anyone in football to this level of just like most of those guys do like the sport. Their heads are just so big that they want to be seen as the greatest in the sport because they love the sport so much.
Aaron Rodgers is the NFL version of Kyrie Irving. He just knows not to say hateful things about Jews. Let's be honest here.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Just like Ben Roethlisberger is a rapist.
I just think,
but I think Aaron Rodgers loves football, though. I think he legit. I mean, does he anymore?
I don't think he does anymore.
Love playing it professionally.
I will clarify. I don't think he does anymore.
Probably not. You're probably right, but
I just think. Quick, go ahead, Seven.
I was gonna say before we go to the NFL, I got one thing I want to talk about basketball wise.
Sure.
Okay, so this
is good. Yeah, I did see this.
This was a comment made by Kelsey Plum, WNBA player, on the Residency podcast. I came across this clip today. I don't know how old it is. I will be honest, but this is Kelsey Plum talking about what the WNBA players mean when they say that they want to get paid like the NBA players do. So take a listen for a second. This is a great clip.
We're not asking you to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking you to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay,
sure. Yeah, because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this person gets paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the percentage of revenue, like, for example, they sell my jersey in Mandalay Bay. I don't get a dime.
You don't get any money from jersey sales?
That's great.
In the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players, right? So jersey sales, obviously their TV contracts. You see these every year, these contracts get bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah, massive.
But that's because their CBA, it negotiates where if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well.
Got it.
In the WNBA, that's not the case. We are not asking.
Did you guys know that?
I did not know that they did not.
I didn't know that
they did
either.
not get those same
anything
things.
off the merch. Like, that's insane. They
They should be. How is that not a violation of NIL? That's my question.
That's got to be some. I'm surprised that's not some sort of violation somewhere.
I can understand like jerseys that have just the number. Yeah, you can get away with it. But most of these jerseys that they sell, they have the player's name on it, just like NBA, NFL, baseball, whatever. So if that's the case, Kelsey Plum is absolutely right. They should be getting the same things. Percentage-wise, exactly.
Like, God damn it, good for Kelsey Plum for fucking saying something, because this is just brought to attention now at this point. Like, and on the WNBA website where it's licensed and she's literally saying like their CBA isn't agreeing merchandise wise to like any outside vendors. So like unless it's bought off the WNBA website and like sanctioned within the WNBA, they don't see any money. So it's not like they don't see any money for any of the jersey sales. But like they don't.
She said they don't get anything for any of their jerseys.
No. She said if you play it back, she said that from a certain store, she said, but she's basically saying like any retail stuff, like it absolutely should be, they should get a fucking cut of that. Like I believe if it's sold on like a WNBA store though, and it's like authorized by them, they probably do. But like regardless of whether that's right or not, they should be getting an equal share. That's all. And that's all she's saying is like she obviously is not saying that the WNBA does not make enough money for her to get paid like LeBron James. Okay.
And she knows that.
Or right. And that's, I love that she's pointing that out and saying like, yes, we're not saying like we should have average, our minimum shouldn't be the NBA's minimum. That's obviously because of revenue. It shouldn't be the case, but like they should absolutely get the same percentages. And that's a problem on their union side, right? I mean,
and they're unionized, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, they should. Yes.
So when their next CBA comes up, they should absolutely be digging their heels on that. And I hope they do.
And Kelsey Plum just made awareness to let that get done. You know what I'm saying? Like now, because like I didn't know that before that. I didn't know that like I never even paid attention to this stuff where they're like, oh yeah, this person gets paid this. Like I was like, okay, well, there's obviously revenue differences there. Like I'm not right. But now it's like percentage wise, they don't get paid the same amount. That's ridiculous. Like how?
That's
why?
crazy.
And I guarantee it's because they don't make enough in general, dude, is what it is. Like, so that's what it is. It's that they don't make a whole lot in general. So that's why their percentages aren't the same, because if they paid the same percentages of the NBA, there wouldn't be any money left. There wouldn't be any money left over. Like that's the real issue, I think, is like that there's still not enough revenue in general to be like, but they should still get the same percentages, I think, or at least something comparable to the NBA. They should get percentages, regardless of whether you're making money or not.
They should be getting it comparable. And the league is already subsidized by the NBA. So they're getting that money from the NBA regardless. So they need to make sure that these girls are taken care of in that sense. There's no reason they shouldn't be.
Because you'd have zero fucking profit if it wasn't for the players. You'd have fucking
Exactly.
zero. There wouldn't be a thing at
anything there.
all. So like, yeah. So take care of them first, because obviously you're not gonna have a fucking product at all if you don't. Like, what, how is that not? The owners just being fucking dirtbags, like, oh, we don't make enough money off of it in general. Who, motherfucker? Then invest in a different business and shut the fuck up. Sorry, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, then, like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't know that though. I don't think a lot of people knew that.
And I think that's why it's great that she said that, because
yeah,
a lot of people didn't. I did not know that until I watched that video earlier today, and I was shocked because she's absolutely right.
Yep. Good for her.
All right, let's go ahead and move over to the huddle. We got some NFL stuff that we need. Oh, no, wait, because I got something I got to say. Thank you, Josie.
Totally did not mean to hit the first one. That was not even me.
You good. You good.
No, I'm talking to these two douchebags shaking their heads.
I didn't touch. I haven't touched them. I let somebody else.
I am 100% looking at you judgmentally. You just can't see it because of the sunglasses and the congestion. But it's that.
Well, and the generally puffy face.
All right, so I got a couple of things to bring up preview for tomorrow night. But what is hurting you, Will?
I'm just upset that Jade is still the champion. She's 42-0. And it doesn't look like the thing is going to end anytime soon. I like Jade. She's outgrown that TBS title. And with all the differences that's gone down, we got a new world champion now in AEW.
MJF.
Tony Storm's reign while she was there, it's officially a title reign, not an interim reign.
What?
Hater is the champion over there now. It's about time, man. It's about time. I keep saying it. I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. Jay needs to drop that title.
Oh my god. Will, not to interrupt, but they just finished Raw and they're doing the Teddy Hart documentary after Raw right now.
What?
How the fuck does this man get a documentary?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Literally talking about his Teddy Hart.
Exactly.
He is the nephew of Brett.
Owen?
No, he's the nephew of Brett. He is the son to, I'm not sure, but at one point he was billed as the next Bret Hart. He was literally the guy, one of the Bret Harts to come out.
Yep.
And he's had nothing but issue and drug problems and constantly getting it in. Like a couple of years ago, he was on a great comeback and then back in jail. And he can just never get out of his own fucking way.
Just for clarification, if he is not Owen's son, that also makes him Owen's nephew.
I'm going to see the actual.
Am I wrong? Because aren't they brothers?
Brett and Owen, yeah, aren't they brothers?
Are brothers, and then that would make him also. Okay, so. Okay,
See,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take that off subject, but
he is the son of Georgia Hart.
Okay, yeah,
their sister.
He is also the nephew. Yeah, he's the nephew. Yeah, so he's their nephew.
Okay, that's it. That was it.
Had the whole world laid out there for you and messed it up.
Yeah, like at one point he should have been more popular than Natalia.
Yep. What the heck was Becky wearing the other day? What the heck was that?
Well, and that's going to be the big part of what I want to talk about tomorrow. What do you think of Survivor Series, Will?
When you guys do this next, can we have like pictures from Google? Like, this is Jada.
I wasn't a fan.
See, I really enjoyed it. Actually,
it was.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good WWE pay-per-view. I loved War Games for the first time on the main roster was great. The Bloodline versus the Brutes was an amazing match. The whole thing they sold with Sammy and his like loyalty, the honorary Oos, baby, honorary Oos.
They need to get George R.R. Martin.
Somebody get him turned on. I don't know who.
Some wrestling.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think it's going to be down the road. I think eventually, yes, they will, but I don't know I mean, you basically just killed any chance of Owens and Sammy reuniting.
Yeah.
So,
J.R.R.
but
Tolkien.
we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Our main topic tomorrow night, Will. I want to talk about factions, and specifically, I want to talk about one faction in general, and is that the Bullet Club is now could go down as one of the most dominant factions in wrestling history, and not for the reason you think when I say that.
Okay.
It is the touch that they have had on the industry in the last 15 years. There has been an iteration of the club in every company,
Modern day.
single company in the
Modern
last
day.
15 years.
Yes, modern day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only talking. Well, and the only reason I say that they might be more dominant than factions like DX and NWO is the fact that they have been able to be in multiple promotions, multiple areas. Like there is, like I said, there's been an iteration in every company. You've got the OC and WWE, and then the Bullet Club, and almost every other company that there is.
Modern day, I would tend to agree with you. It's just before then I don't agree.
I don't know that I can put him above DX because hell, DX played the long game. They're actually in control of WWE now. You can't.
I mean you're
that's
right.
A 30-year play.
The only argument I have there is that the fact that DX has only been in WWE, when you have to look at the Bullet Club has been in every promotion in some way, shape, or form. Has touched every promotion. And so, I mean, this huge feud that you got going on right now between the OC and Judgment Day, the big meat and potatoes, middle of that is the Bullet Club. If wasn't a thing from their past so long ago, this feud wouldn't be making as much sense as it is.
Like I say, modern day, I would agree. It's before that time period I wouldn't agree with.
But see, I'm looking at it. Y'all are looking at it as just those factions and that they were dominant. I'm looking at it as the touch that this faction has had.
You're talking about you're talking about the overall reach.
Overall reach that this faction has.
That's why I agree with you.
On multiple companies.
That's why I agree with you. Because modern day, nobody's done it like that.
I've never heard of the Bullet Club.
And that doesn't surprise me, as you're not a wrestling fan.
But reach-wise, wouldn't reach involve?
Because if you're not a hardcore, if you're only a WWE really fan, or only a person that's really only followed the WWE, you're not going to understand the Bullet Club. Only more of a hardcore fan is really going to know who that is. And really know the touch. Someone who's followed multiple promotions and looked at multiple.
But I agree with you though, because that reach over years, and it's made stars too. Let's not forget that.
Multiple.
I guess my question is, isn't that a factor in greatness and reach though? Is people who aren't even fans of the sport know who they are?
I would say at a time, yes, but the way wrestling is shaped now, where the casual fan doesn't really exist as much as it used to. Like, yes, companies talk about the casual fan wanting to reach the casual fan. I actually saw an article the other day, and I think it's kind of true. I don't think Tony has any plan of ever really reaching the casual fan. He is building a company for the marks, for the people like me, that like when he brings in a Japan wrestler. But the casual fan has no interest in that because they have no idea who that is. And
I mean, we talked about that on Fight Night one night though. Like it was basically just like, because you have to kind of know the story already, or at least get some kind of background or more background than you do for like just watching, a football game or something. Like it's more difficult to get a layman fan to be a fan, which it's like, that's a hard marketing point for them for real. Like that's an actual challenge.
The thing about it back in the 90s is what it was there was so much shock and awe. And then it was so main culture. Things that would happen on Monday nights would end up being on the news the next night because it was just so shock and awe. Yep. Now, with the way that TVs ran and political correctness, it's really hard to pull off those just really shocking, amazing things. Because also, to shock the audience now, you almost have to push the limit too far.
Dirt sheets hurt too.
Dirt sheets hurt too. The fact that me and Will listen to these podcasts, and the ones who pull off the surprises, the links that they have to go to. Soraya stayed in a janitor's closet all day before she debuted for AEW, so they could have no worry about it getting out. Only like 5 people in the entire company knew she was debuting that day, because if more than that know, it will get out. It will be on a dirt sheet.
Goddamn chatty Cathy's over there in the professional sports wrestling world. Bunch of
Every
chatty
backstage of every
You want to be the
wrestling
first
company.
of the story.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you on that
Chatty
because,
Cathy's.
like I said, there were stars made off of that, and multiple stars over multiple companies, and modern day. No,
You look
no
at
other
2 of the
factions done
biggest
that.
stars right now in WWE, and Balor and Styles wouldn't be here if it weren't for the club.
But-
If you then
mhm.
go to the other side, if you go look at AEW, I know you don't like them, but 3 of the biggest stars in AEW, and Omega and the Bucks, wouldn't
Mhm.
be here if it weren't for the club.
Mhm.
You can then go to Impact and look at 2 really young stars who are getting a great takeoff in Impact, in Bay and Ace Austin, since they went into the club. The club is it takes stars that have that little spark,
A little
and
bit,
it
yeah.
makes them into huge stars.
Can I make an analogy for professional wrestling and the athletes in it? I think the professional, and this is not meant to be a jab. I think that the professional athletes in professional wrestling are kind of like the Weird Al Yankovic of to
No,
music.
that
Okay,
it
so-
is.
Actually, right. Yeah.
You're not
So here's the
wrong.
thing, like
Yeah.
he's an awesome
Yeah.
musician, and I know that professional wrestlers are awesome athletes, but I'm not going to say that Running with
It's a
Scissors is one of the greatest albums of all time. And you're not ever
it's a
going to hear.
parody sport. It's
Yes.
a parody
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
it is.
okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, my argument here is that there are certain sports that it takes less athleticism to do than it does to be a
100%.
professional wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can get I mean, look at guys who were successes in the sport weren't the best athletes. Look at Arn Anderson. I mean, he wasn't the best athlete in the world, but my goodness,
One of the best examples I'd
one
love
of
to
the best
give,
ever, man.
Taz.
Yeah.
Taz
Yeah.
was a
Rikishi.
terrible athlete.
Yeah.
Rikishi. And I got to
Rikishi,
tell you,
sorry,
you got to look at Rikishi. Went to the
talented,
Hall of Fame.
talented
Will-
performer, but
will
not
go down
athletic.
as one of the best mid-carders, and took his spot and ran with it like too
Yep.
cool, super talented performer. But he also then gave us 2 of the biggest stars of this generation in the Usos. So that man has touched pro wrestling in ways that will go on for centuries. And then
Also-
now he's given us another one, and then their little brother in Solo, who I honestly believe at some point will be a world champion.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Rikishi weighed like 350 pounds, and he was sprinting sometimes. So
Oh, he was
not a,
still
not,
pretty
not, a, not a
athletic.
not good athlete. I was going to say, like not a
We've
not a
talked,
bad athlete.
We've talked about it, and guys like Quiche, guys like Iceberg, and shit, who's the other one I'm trying to think of? Will Glacier.
I mean,
Glacier made room for guys like Keith Lee
Oh,
and
yeah.
Braun Strowman,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because they were doing things that big men shouldn't have been. Here's a great one for you. Vader should have never been able to do some of the things that he was able to do. Vader was
Vader got
350 pounds,
disrespected.
6'7".
Vader got disrespected.
And
Let's look at it from let's call real. Vader got disrespected in the WWE. Disrespected. Shawn Michaels, I'm looking at you. Shawn
and
Michaels.
then literally went over to New Japan, and still to
killed
this day is one of the greatest of all time in
Go
Japan.
look at that match. Go look at that match with Stan Hansen.
Oh my god, dude!
Man,
Weird Al is still sweet chin music, baby.
So
I did there.
we're gonna really talk about that and dive into factions and the touch of factions, and is Bullet Club one of the greatest factions of all time? In different ways, yes, and in different ways, no. I fully believe in the fact and the reach that they've had on the industry in the last 15 to 20 years, and the reach I think they will continue to have, makes them one of the greatest factions of all time. Now, I do understand that it's a different type of faction than like the NWO and DX.
Oh, yeah.
And that it has been able to jump from promotion to promotion to promotion
successfully.
And we're also going to break down in-depth Survivor Series because I thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view from WWE. And preview.
Rhea Ripley was about the best thing that happened to that pay-per-view.
Do you think it'd be a good idea for them not ever, for like the management of professional wrestling to not ever have any say on who wins or anything, like who holds any belt? If they just let the guys decide it while they're in there, the women decide it while they're in there.
I don't think a company could. I don't think a company could run that way because the company's got to have a plan for storylines, especially a company that's on television.
They also
and they're planning weeks out.
They also have to have promotion plan for that guy.
Yeah.
So,
I was just trying to figure out maybe a solution to the leaking.
I mean, companies have tried. There have been professional wrestling companies to try and make it real and where there's a winner in the ring, and it just doesn't work with pro wrestling. It just
they're probably just scared it would be kind of more boring because you're getting the actual like you're getting almost too much product.
Especially and it does happen. New Japan, their matches are kind of that way. They don't always go into it knowing a winner.
And there's also been matches here in the States.
Yeah, it's the way that the American style. It's the way that the American style, the soap opera style of the American pro wrestling. It has to have that storyline.
And there's also been times here in the U.S. where a match will change like an hour before the show. I.e. Shawn Michaels Tatanka.
Well, Vince for the last 3 years was rewriting contract. I mean, there were every week for the last 2 years, Raw and SmackDown was being rewritten hour before it went live.
I mean, I remember the match between Shawn and Tatanka. Tatanka was going to win the belt. Then the day of the event, they go to Tatanka. You ain't winning, bro. It's like
probably a pretty good move.
Tatanka was over, but I don't know if anybody believed in him to be a long-term champion. He might have been what you think, Josie? Maybe transitional back in the day.
I could have never seen Tatanka as a champion. Not back then. Again, even though he was really an Indian and like all of that story was true, the gimmick fans would have had problem with him.
He couldn't pull off Wahoo to save his life. That's what he would have had to have done, which is why I think they changed it.
But yeah, we're going to talk about that, and then our superstars that we've been highlighting. I'm wanting to talk about the one and only Sheamus because he is having a career resurgence like I have not seen in years this year. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for Sports Report Fight Night with me, Will, and Stacks.
All right, guys, let's move on to the huddle real quick. All right, guys, we got a final Monday night. Got a final on this. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Indianapolis Colts 24-17. This has been a battle of nobodies. Neither team is making the playoffs. Earlier in the week, we had some Thanksgiving Day games.
I actually wanted to talk about the Cowboys versus Giants breaks all-time record for largest NFL TV audience. 42 million viewers tuned in to watch that game and shattered a record that existed for 3 decades.
That doesn't surprise you, though. I mean, AFC rivalry and both teams are playing good this year, particularly the Giants. That's kind of shocked me with the Giants.
I tell you what pissed me off about that game. What pissed me off about that game is the Giants gave up in the second half. They literally just quit.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Even though CD Lamb out there trying to be OBJ with those one-handed catches. He's like, "Oh, y'all trying to draft OBJ? I'm going to go out there and look like him tonight."
And you got to give Gallup credit too. Gallup looked really good on Thanksgiving, so you know, he looked good too.
I tell you who looked the best in all 3 of those games, which they were all great, but Jackson from the Vikings, holy crap. Did that boy have a game? He went off that entire game.
You mean Justin Jefferson?
Jefferson, sorry.
Jefferson's amazing.
Sorry.
Best receiver in the NFL.
a lot of football.
Oh,
this
without a
week,
doubt.
and
Did you
he
just discover Justin Jefferson?
I haven't gotten to watch a lot of football, so that was one of the first like really good games, and just he really impressed me. He really impressed me.
Nine receptions, 139 yards, and a touchdown.
Welcome to the club. Dude is the real fucking
He is
deal,
the
dude.
best
Talk about
receiver.
OBJ. Talk about
He's
OBJ reincarnated. He's like OBJ,
like-
but physical.
He's like the
And
best
he spent some
receiver in the
time with
league.
LBJ. He learned from OBJ from Chan.
He's the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Both LSU guys.
Yep.
Wide receiver you.
And
And
see,
DBU.
and see, here's my point. Here's my point with Kirk Cousins. He wins this game and looks good doing it. 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, interception. But where was this the week before? And that's my point.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say a
Cousins had
phrase.
a game in prime time, so you got to give him one for that. He never does good in prime time.
I'm going to say one sentence so you can understand what I'm talking about here. Trent Dilfer has won a Super Bowl at quarterback starting.
That's true. That's true.
What
Kirk
did Trent
Cousins-
Dilfer ever do to you?
What was it? 153 yards passing in that Super Bowl that they won?
That was like
Yeah, he had Derek Brooks and Sapp
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Ronnie Barber
yeah.
and all those boys.
Kirk Cousins can get them to the Super Bowl. But here's the thing. It's not going to be Kirk Cousins getting them to the Super Bowl. It's going to be everybody else doing their jobs well enough that it looks like Kirk Cousins is leading them to a Super Bowl. Because that's what it's going to take. And now, those of us that follow the game and watch and actually pay attention, we're going to understand that it's more about what's going on outside of that position. But he is effective enough that as long as those guys do their job, they can be at least a championship team, if not a Super Bowl team.
In today's NFL, though, Tony, can you really say that Kirk Cousins can win a Super? Like, I mean, can he win a Super Bowl in today's NFL? Like, it's so, dude, it's so predicated on quarterbacks now, dude. Like Trent Dilfer's era was you could still play great defense and win Super Bowls. Like, I don't know if you can do that now. Like, you have to have a star quarterback make star plays in big moments.
He proved that he can put it where he wants it.
I think if he can play like he did on Sunday and Jefferson plays like he did on Sunday, then yes, exactly what Seven said is Kirk Cousins is good enough to fake it till he makes it with all that talent around him.
Yes, but we'll really see. The first round they play in the playoffs, they'll probably be playing in the wild card round, I would assume. Maybe not. But yeah, because only the first ranked team gets the bye, and that's going to, they're not going to be the first ranked team. So we'll see in the wild card round, because that's going to be a real test. And I guarantee you, because it's Kirk Cousins and everything that's been going on, that's going to be the primetime game on Saturday or Sunday, whichever it is. That's where they will be.
It's less likely that he win a Super Bowl than Trent Dilfer's era. Is basically, I guess, what I'm saying. Like, I think it's less likely. It's possible.
More things have to fall in favor for him to win this, but it is likely. Would be less like if he were playing back then, I would give him more like an 80 to 90% chance. Well, right now he's probably sitting at a like 50 to 60% chance of going all the way.
50 Kirk Cousins?
Right now?
60% chance of winning a Super Bowl?
Possibly.
I think that's a little
I think
high.
Pat Mahomes has a 60% chance.
Oh,
of winning
and
a Super Bowl.
I'm just looking at it as
8.
I'm only looking at it as the way he played Sunday. Just the quality of play. I'm not putting in any luck on
12
on what could happen down the road or anything like that. And I'll even go 50-50. I just know they're 9-2. They're 9-3. Like, that's pretty impressive for the Vikings. 9-2. That's
it is
impressive,
and it's not a mistake. I don't think it's a mistake, but I also think that I like I said, Kirk Cousins can get them to the Super Bowl. But I think that everybody, and like I said, everybody has to be on point for it to happen. Because I think when you look at the star positions on that offense, he is the weakest link.
And is the defense as good as
defense ain't that stout?
Yeah.
And that's
If
the
this
thing
ain't
is, I don't
that
think
stout,
it is.
I think you look at
Which
the 49ers. You look at
Yeah.
the 49ers, better defense. I think you look at the Eagles. I think that's a better defense. So,
Right.
I
Just
think
that offensive talents, it's definitely making him look better than he really is. But at the same time, I think, like we said, I mean, Kirk Cousins is an above-average NFL quarterback.
Above
Dude. He's not a
average.
He is.
slouch.
he's not.
He's
He's
not
not trash. That's for sure.
He's in the top 12.
Yeah.
We've gotten so spoiled over these last 5 years because we look at some of the QB talent that we've had. The amazing surge of greatness from Tom Brady leaving New England, Josh Allen coming out of an unexpected position, Jalen Hurts, Tua had this year has been stellar. The QB talent over the last 5 years has been so electric that Kirk Cousins hasn't gotten some of the attention that he deserves because, yes, he's not the best quarterback in the league, but he's above average, he's serviceable, and he's had consistency in his position, especially in Minnesota.
Don't forget Burrow Herbert.
Dude, think about the college coaches, like Wyoming. Like Josh Allen went to Wyoming, dude. Like Pat Mahomes had to go to 2 different colleges, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so strange to see the guys who are good in the NFL, like Brett Favre, Southern Miss, really? Like, how are people missing on Josh Allen as a high school senior?
Well, you look at it too. You also got to look at the fact that how often do Heisman winners really come out and just have amazing NFL careers?
He was a Heisman winner.
No. He's saying like guys who are good in
I'm
college.
saying usually the guys who have amazing college careers have crummy NFL careers.
Tim Tebow,
Vince Young. I mean, the list could go on and on. Even
AJ
you want
McCarron.
to go, you can't really blame him because it wasn't his, but Andrew Luck. Like
Luck was a really, really good NFL quarterback.
But he was
really
stellar in the NFL.
Had he been protected like he should have as a quarterback, he would have had a Hall of Fame career. No doubt.
He was way too smart to stay in the NFL.
He was way too smart, but here's the thing. In looking at the Colts, I almost feel like if Andrew Luck were there now, he would be in a much better position with Jeff Saturday as a head coach than he was with Frank Reich, because Jeff Saturday immediately went in and started putting pressure on that line to step it up. But he did that from a position of experience because he's an all-pro center. And so as much as we want to criticize the choice, which it was a dumb fucking choice, he is trying to do it right, and I will respect him for that, and I will acknowledge it. And if the Colts have Andrew Luck right now, I think they are at least positions better.
And I don't think that Andrew Luck was even particularly badly protected when he was playing, though. Like, yes, towards the end it was, and like I think he started to realize it, but I just think Andrew Luck realized like what he was doing to his body very quickly and was like, nope, I'm out. Like, and I think it probably scared him. Honestly, I think he probably he got dinged up a couple of times, and I think it probably scared him. And he was like, no, I mean, I don't blame him, honestly.
I mean,
I don't want to kill everybody around me and kill myself when I'm 45. For real. Like, seriously, that's what he was thinking. Like, it's not, he's just too smart.
Yep.
He was like,
nope. You can't blame him for coming to a decision that didn't work. But I think that he would have better protection with Saturday than he did at the end of his career before he retired 3 years ago.
Right, because you're going to play, you're playing 110%. Yeah, probably like five, something like that. But yeah, he was like, you're going to play 110% for Jeff Saturday. Like, that guy's probably the most famous offensive lineman in NFL history at this point, right? I mean,
I would think so.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a precedent that you have to set when Jeff Saturday is your head coach. Like, you're going to be, if you're an offensive lineman, you better be on your game every fucking day, because that's the only position. Right. And the kind of, yeah.
I'm gonna skip around a little bit around the league real quick. There was some news that came out a little bit before the show. Nathaniel Hackett rumored to be fired this week after Denver's 23-10 loss.
Can the Broncos afford that?
Yeah, that was on Facebook today.
The Broncos
before the show,
and I don't rule it out, but I feel like the Broncos are in the same position that the Raiders are in, that they can't really afford to fire another coach because of all the money they've got tied up paying the ones that they've already fired. Just because the new ownership took over doesn't mean,
It's like that.
There's suddenly going to be those contracts are gone. They still have to pay those past coaches.
Oh yeah.
We also got to talk. We also got to talk about the fact that Deshaun Watson returns this week.
Yeah. Hey, we get to see Deshaun Watson this week, guys. Said no massage therapist ever.
Damn. You sick fuck. You sick fuck. Old ladies and kids.
Somebody told me it'd be funny as hell if he come in there, he start messing up because he's rusty after 2 years and not playing. And Brissett comes in and takes his job.
No. What will be really funny is if he comes out rusty and the Texans get their second win off the Browns. That will be what
I legitimately want that to happen. And I kind of want Davis Mills to come back out as quarterback for that to happen too.
Oh, I like Davis
that
Mills.
Would just be fucking hilarious.
What would be really funny, guys, is if he comes out, he's rusty, not playing well. He goes to the sideline and gets a massage from a female on live TV. That would be funny.
I'm pretty sure that Twitter would implode.
Or
like, everybody claiming that Elon Musk is killing Twitter. No, Deshaun Watson getting a massage from a female therapist on the sideline on live TV would make the internet fucking implode on itself. Just
or explode, Tony.
Or explode, yeah.
Might make Deshaun Watson explode too. Crickets. Oh, the crickets would have been perfect right there. It actually was crickets.
Oh man, but he coming back after 2 years. He's gonna be rusty.
He's gonna look like shit.
Let's see what he does. I did want to talk about Dingleberry, as I call him. Blew the game yesterday against the Chargers, 25-24.
Mm-hmm. Chargers, baby.
You idiot.
Best team in the AFC West, the Chargers.
Oh my gosh, man. No, they ain't.
Here's the thing. Cliff Kingsbury knows at this point that he's done. I think it's in the locker room as well. I legitimately think Cliff Kingsbury has lost the locker room. And I think the sign of that was in last night's post-game interview. Kyler Murray said, schematically, we're fucked. Exact words said by Kyler Murray. Cliff Kingsbury is going to get fired this offseason, and I hope to God Steve Keim goes with him. That organization deserves a refresh in the front office.
How does he make it through a season, Tony? How does he make it through the season? Schematically, we're fucked. You might as well just say Cliff Kingsbury sucks as a head coach. Like, you might as well just say it. Like,
the dude went 10-14 with Patrick Mahomes as his fucking quarterback in college. How does he have a job in the NFL?
Because of that jawline, bro. You seen that jawline? Like, he can convince anybody that he's
he's still going to model for Abercrombie after he gets fired because it's going to be the only job he can get. But the Cardinals should have pulled the trigger on this last season. At the end of last season, the Cardinals should have fired Keim. They should have fired Kingsbury. They should have grabbed Eric Bieniemy, because now here's the thing. The longer you drag this out, the harder it's going to be to get anything hugely productive out of Kyler Murray. And here's the thing. I know that I've been critical of Kyler Murray. I've made jokes about the fact that he's short because, well, he is. But here's the thing.
He also judged about one of the greatest shortstops of all time in Jose Altuve, or second baseman of all time, and Jose Altuve in his height.
Wow,
so.
I didn't see that sign coming. Sorry. But here's the deal. The longer you wait to replace Cliff and Keim in Arizona, the harder it's going to be to get the money that you have to pay Kyler to get your money back, to get your money's worth. Because right now you have a roster that could be dominant in the playoffs and make it to the NFC Championship game at least. I don't think they're Super Bowl quality, but Cliff Kingsbury couldn't scheme his way out of a paper bag. And Kyler's right. Kyler's right. And so this is the Bidwell family and the Cardinals organization not having the balls to do what's right. And I'm going to keep saying that until they prove me wrong.
Being a good-looking NFL coach is kind of like being a good-looking priest. It just makes everything complicated.
I also want to say...
unless you're Sean McVay.
I also want to say...
Jawline for days.
Before I get into my next topic, I just want to say real quick a quick shout out to Taylor Heineke. Get it done. Watched dinner over the Falcons 1913. He got it done. But the
He was a
biggest
Heineke to the game.
but the biggest topic I want to talk about is Lamar Jackson. Do you guys think he hurt himself to get that contract with that loss yesterday?
No.
I think this might have done some damage.
I think it exposed the coaching problems in Baltimore that have been there all along. Because here's the thing. There are so many graphics going around Facebook and social media as a whole right now. There have been 4 games this year where the Ravens had at least a 10-point lead and it got blown. Lamar Jackson can't blow leads on offense. He's the one that helps extend it.
He can absolutely blow leads on offense.
Well, if he throws a bunch of pick sixes, yes. But I'm saying in a normal scheme of things. But that defense...
Some 3 and outs.
Not moving the ball.
Right, but when you already have that much of a lead, your defense should be able to just hold. You should be adjusting to what they're doing. And as much as I am not the biggest Lamar Jackson fan, and I don't think he's everything he's hyped up to be, I think we'll get more out of Jalen Hurts in his career than we will out of Lamar Jackson. And I know that's going to trigger some people, but frankly, I don't give a fuck. But here's the deal. The problem in Baltimore right now is coaching. Because Lamar Jackson has one of the best completion percentages in the NFL. And it's not his fault. You can't blame all 4 blown leads on Lamar Jackson when there's not interceptions and a bunch of mistakes to back it up.
I blame the front office because outside of Mark Andrews, he ain't got nobody to throw to.
Exactly.
Nobody.
They don't have the wide receiver core that they should have. So
Duvernay and Robinson ain't it.
He has to put the entire game on his legs, and you can't do that to a quarterback. He needs to have people to throw to outside of Mark Andrews.
Well, I think it does show Lamar Jackson's limitations that everybody already knew about. So, does it hurt his contract situation? No, probably not, because I think everybody knew about it. He doesn't have every tool that you need to be an NFL quarterback. Not a lot of guys do, obviously. He's got limitations. Is he explosive? Is he uber talented? Yes. Does he have limitations? Yeah. And I think everybody already knew about it. I don't think this really, they're not this isn't going to be like this. The changing of the tide.
I just think they're trying to play a style of football that is no longer valid. You can't necessarily, unless you got Derrick Henry back there, you can't necessarily play smash mouth football 24/7. At some point, you're gonna have to throw the football.
But the question is,
you gotta throw the football.
Are they playing
Tennessee with Burks, they throw the football. They don't play just strictly smash mouth. They lost AJ Brown, and we're not got another receiver, and they're throwing the football down the field. Tannehill's extending and plays down the field, which I think is your point in Lamar because of his limitation, but also you got to give him something to work with.
He does not have the talent.
He doesn't have it.
Just carry everybody. Yes.
He can't carry everybody. And you can have all these running backs. Gus Edwards. You can J.K. Dobbins, Kenyon Drake, Justice Hill. You can have all these running backs. Play 7-man up front and dare you to throw the football. And you can beat them.
And you're right. And they need weapons on the offensive side. I'm not saying that their offense is perfect. It's not. But they're another team where schematically they're fucked. But the biggest problem with it outside of the talent on offense is the defensive scheme. They start off well, but they can't close. You've got to be able to be effective all 4 quarters. And right now, the Ravens defense is not being effective all 4 quarters.
He's not like the Ravens defense that we can just throw 13 points and that's it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And in defense of your point too, you would think with Lamar Jackson on offense that they'd be able to hold those leads just purely based on the fact that they just run the ball. You know what I'm saying? They just smash mouth run the ball, which would be theoretically the clock eating, we hold a lead type of everybody knows that Lamar Jackson's not the greatest from coming from behind, right? But with the lead, you would think, and that is schematics. That's got to be a coaching issue when they can't hold one. They can't hold a lead with Lamar Jackson. He seems like the perfect quarterback to hold a lead with. You know what I'm saying? Because he is he's pretty efficient. Doesn't throw a whole ton of picks. They run the ball all the time.
Here's the thing. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. When we look at the Las Vegas Raiders, when you look at the Las Vegas Raiders, it's pretty easy to figure out that coaching is a problem in the Raiders. Like that's pretty clear. But of course, we've already figured out we're going to see Derek Carr made the scapegoat because the Raiders can't afford to fire another coach, like I mentioned earlier. So what you've got is a quarterback. Derek Carr is an above average quarterback. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he's in the same tier as Herbert and Mahomes and Allen and those guys.
Same tier with Kirk Cousins.
But he's in the same He's in the same tier with Kirk Cousins. That's what I was about to say. But you can't sit there and tell me that Derek Carr is the biggest problem in the Raiders. The problem with the Raiders is schematics and coaching because Josh Jacobs does not know his ass from a hole in the ground.
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, sorry.
You got Jacobs on that squad. You got
which had
Hollins.
a great run for the win yesterday. 80-yard run. It was fantastic. It was great. Yeah, absolute baller.
You got Waller and Renfro who are really good when they're healthy.
Max Crosby on the other side of the ball.
That's too much
Crosby's
talent.
A beast.
That's too much talent to be bad.
Exactly.
Dude, what I say about Josh McDaniels every time is that dude is a coordinator. He's not a head coach. Those dudes know that he's not a head coach, dude. He doesn't act like a head coach. He doesn't have the demeanor of a head coach.
No different than Dennis Allen.
He's not a leader. Like nobody's looking at that dude going, "Oh, I hope Josh McDaniels gives me the strength to get, make a good play today." Like they're going, "Oh, Josh McDaniels is going to put me in the right spot to make a play, but he's not going to inspire me to make anything. Look, he's not going to inspire anybody to do anything."
Jeff Saturday's head coaching. No, he's not. Jeff Saturday's head coaching premiere for the Indianapolis Colts was against the Las Vegas Raiders. Jeff Saturday outcoached McDaniels. McDaniels, who spent all that time under Belichick, and this is his second head coaching stint, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Especially with how critical we've been of the lack of experience that Jeff Saturday has, how does McDaniels, with all of that talent, because you can't tell me the Raiders roster is not as talented as the Colts roster, how does Josh McDaniels lose that game? Shitty fucking coaching.
They don't follow him. They just don't follow him because X's and O's wise, he's mountains better than Jeff Saturday, guaranteed. Mountains better X's and O's wise, but he just doesn't inspire anybody. He doesn't inspire anybody.
No,
period.
The Steve Nash effect.
Nobody plays for him. But nobody plays for him.
Steve Nash had the advantage of being a former player, so he could keep some entertainment.
Right.
McDaniels.
Never. McDaniels. Well, he was a quarterback in college, but
McDaniels' respect comes from being connected to Belichick. But that mystique is gone because we already saw how he did in his first head coaching stint. He has not earned that locker room yet. And sorry, Raiders fans, you're going to have at least 3 years because that's how long it's going to take before they have the money to fire him because they're still paying off John Gruden thanks to the hit job.
Dude, when are people going to realize that just coaching under Belichick doesn't make you fucking Belichick?
Nope.
Well,
they're not.
It's just like how many. Don't get me wrong. We have seen some quality players come out of Nick Saban programs. I'll acknowledge that. But we've also seen more flops come out because they look good and then they can't transition to the NFL game as well.
I'm actually gonna disagree with that point. You've seen more high attention flops like quarterbacks.
Okay, I'll give you that. All right,
because half of the goddamn NFL defenses are made up of Nick Saban players. Half. Like it's not half really, but like
and
but Josh Jacobs is one of them. Josh Jacobs, we just talked about one of them.
Defensively, you're going to get a solid player out of Alabama, and I'll give you that because they have
everybody besides quarterbacks,
right? But when you look at it, quarterbacks, which is arguably the most important position in football, and I think Skip Bayless's argument on that is pretty valid. Arguing that it is one of the most important positions in football, but there is not that Josh Jacobs doesn't have that mystique, doesn't have that interest. Nobody respects him because they've already seen the truth. And so the Raiders are going to suffer for the next 3 years. They're probably going to be consistently fighting with Denver for the bottom of the AFC West. Until they can get rid of McDaniels.
They're going to fire him.
One last game I wanted to talk about very quickly. The New York Jets defeat the Chicago Bears 31-10.
Mike White
Mike
coming
White,
out of the
man.
seed.
Who saw that coming? Ooh, who saw that coming?
Mike White. Yeah, it's
I know.
stellar numbers, but how many times do we see QBs come out and start like this? And this isn't to take away from what he did yesterday, because he put up some stellar numbers. But when you're going to judge whether or not a player is franchise quarterback worthy, you have to look at how much time is it going to take for enough film to be gathered on him that he gets rendered useless.
Right.
Because that's the problem that we see so often with quarterbacks is you think they're going to be great, but it's just because they don't have enough film on them to scheme. And once that film surfaces, you start to realize that he's not.
What he is.
You know,
Fifth
so
round pick. Western Kentucky. It's a powerhouse program down there in Western Kentucky.
Somebody is. Yeah.
And I hope he's successful. I legitimately do. But my question is going to be, how much of this is because of the lack of the film on Mike White?
All of it.
And also playing that Chicago Bears defense, which has been stripped down, but still a good game. Good game. Him, Garrett Wilson got down. Good game by those two guys. Zach Wilson, you're an idiot.
Can I just also point out that Seven actually said that we're going to get more out of Jalen Hurts' career than we will out of Lamar Jackson's.
I'm not backpedaling on that.
So Jalen Hurts is going to win an MVP.
There are some that have him as the MVP right now simply because the Eagles are 9-1. He's in that conversation. Come on now.
He's going to have multiple highlight reel of all-time NFL plays out of Jalen Hurts. We're going to see him make a spin move going 25 miles an hour in the middle of the field, and two guys running to get each other like Mike Vick style.
You see that
highlights? No,
I don't know that he is as flashy as Lamar, but I think he gets at least the same amount of results, statistics wise.
I see why Seven says that though. I see why Seven says that though. AJ Brown is a stud at receiver.
Here's
Devontae stud.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devontae Smith stud. At the other end. I mean, I'm just saying, Goddard when he's healthy at tight end is up there with Mark Andrews.
So here's the thing that I will say, and I'm going to clarify. I will clarify that statement a little bit. My opinion on this is strictly based on the failures of the front office of the Ravens versus the positive momentum and the good moves that Philly is making. Right now, you can't look me in the eye and tell me that the Ravens will get to the Super Bowl before the Eagles.
Fair enough.
You can't. You can't do it. And so that's why my argument is, because right now, Jalen Hurts is going to get a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson does. Jalen Hurts is going to get to the Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson does. And so right now, I have to say that.
Fair point. I'm also gonna point out that you totally just contradicted yourself by saying that no Nick Saban quarterbacks ever do anything, and then you just said Jalen Hurts is gonna be better than Lamar Jackson.
He went to Oklahoma for a year. That's where he picked it. That's where he closed up the gap.
Right.
That
Yeah.
Nick Saban left.
Gotcha. All right, guys.
Good save.
Jalen is the exception to the rule.
Good save, Mariano Rivera.
Oh my goodness.
Good save, Trevor Hoffman.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Let's go ahead before we close up shop. We're going on 2 hours here, guys. Before we close up shop, anybody got any last minute thoughts you want to get out there before we roll out for the night?
I really, really hope that the Red Sox can manage to sign Bogarts, because right now it doesn't look good. And we're not a playoff team next year if we don't have Xander Bogaerts on that squad. We're just not.
Xander's coming to be a Yankee. He's wearing pinstripes. Just
Anybody got anything else?
Shortstops.
World Cup real quick. U.S. needs to beat Iran tomorrow to make it to the Sweet 16 and then the knockout rounds. So that game will be played tomorrow.
I get it that you're jogging now, Josie, but who are they playing?
Iran.
No, I get it that you're jogging, but like,
game is 2 p.m. Eastern. tied to the English in their in the game that the U.S. most recently played.
That was a great game.
It was a very decent game. I know there's and I'm going to close with this.
Yeah, I actually got to bounce out, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Latest.
If you're a baseball fan and you say that soccer is boring, you're a dumbass.
I mean, if you're actually like trying to get into both of them, yes,
there is a lot more going on because the ball doesn't stop, the clock doesn't stop.
That's why some people think it's boring because there's a lot of monotonous movement.
There's
and a lot of people don't understand the rules that are nuances of soccer. People don't know what's the red card.
Right.
Get kicked out of you red card, you get kicked out of the game. 2 yellow cards equals a red card. Yellow card's like we'll call it a technical in the NBA terms. Yellow card is a flagrant, severe foul. Yeah, flagrant foul basically.
Okay, I'm glad
honestly,
you know.
I haven't given soccer enough of a chance, honestly. But when I do, but like it's just I honestly haven't given it like a whole try.
Tomorrow, because of how the U.S. and the Iran teams stack together, I think tomorrow is going to be a much higher offensive game, especially for Team USA. So I think for those of you that are wanting to, actually, I think it could be a little more one-sided than that because Iran got blown out 6-2 in their first game of the World Cup.
Is the impatient style of American sports ever going to hit football, soccer, and like they're just going to start scoring like six, seven goals a game? Like, are they ever going to like be like, all right, we're going to open it up a little bit and start scoring some goals?
There's some MLS teams that play absolutely no defense, and so you can probably see that happen.
I noticed the MLS games are always higher. They're always like 5-3 and stuff.
Yeah,
like, there's never World Cup games ever like that.
Are you a footballer?
It's the problem with the MLS. Like the game is getting better. There's some rumors that we could see Ronaldo and Messi in the U.S. game in the next 3 years, possibly as soon as next summer with Messi. But yeah, tomorrow would be a great game to watch to actually be able to get into it because I think it's going to be a very energetic contest. The U.S. wants to get to the 16. This is a great squad. They had some work they had to put in, but I think that they're right there. I think this game will show us truly how good Team USA is this year, for sure.
Dan, you got anything?
Look at that gigantic American flag hanging up behind me. I feel like fucking buying a bald eagle and putting my hand over my heart. Let's go, America.
America.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
It's America.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
I thought it was America.
Yes. Hey, Will, first time I ever saw a bald eagle in real life. I was driving my car and it was on the side of the highway and it was eating out of a McDonald's bag. And I thought about getting out and saying the Pledge of Allegiance with my hand over my heart.
I mean, there's nothing more American than that. Like
there isn't. Like I was like, bald eagles really are American.
I think at that point you either have to at least stop and put your hand over your heart or take a knee. One of the two. You got to respect it.
Do you think
flag can't beat it?
That bald eagles have a Rogaine program that they can get on, or is that just like that's the thing they accept? Like,
I think that they've all accepted it, like Joe Rogan. But I think there's a lot less DMT in eagles than there is in Joe Rogan. But that's just a theory.
Joe Rogan is a bald eagle. He's the epitome of the bald eagle. He's like. I mean, might as well just show that when they show like what's the American animal. It's just Joe Rogan. It's just a Rogan.
And on that note, your boy gotta go to work tomorrow. So I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in to the Sports Report podcast. We will be back next week, same time, same channel to do it all again one more time. Week 13 in the NFL. Let's go, baby. Until next week, everybody. Have a great week.
Get a little wind machine, Will, to blow my flag.
Wind machine.
You know, little flag on, little wind machine. Fan on it. Get a fan on it.
The wind machine.
There you go.
You can never do before, and even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.